What's up, traders? Zach here from the Trading Network. I hope you guys are doing well. I have a similar video to what I posted last week as far as my weekly trade review, except because this is the end of the month, I'm going to go ahead and relatively quickly review my month and just discuss some of the key takeaways that I had from this month's journaling, from my trade data, and what I was able to learn and gather from this month's trading. So you can see here that it was a pretty damn good month. I have a profit factor of 3.49, was able to lock in a little over $52,000. Average winning trade, about $600. Average losing trade, about $700. One thing that I want to point out, not to make an excuse by any means, but a lot of times I'm entering with, 4, 5, 6 plus contracts, and I'm peeling off one at a time. So when you see that my average losing trades versus average winning trades aren't always, at a 1-to-1 or above a 1-to-1, that's typically why. A lot of times I will enter in, all my contracts at one time, and then I will slowly peel off as price moves in my direction, as I'm sure you guys are pretty familiar with if you've watched my scalping videos. So I'll scroll down and just show you guys the calendar here. You can see that Friday was the best day of the month, and this last week was by far the best week of the month as well. You can see that I started off very slow. I lost $1,000 on Friday the 7th, and that wiped out, a good chunk of my profit. I think I only locked in, maybe like $700 or $800 or something like that on the first week. And look where we ended up, right? So it's very important, and this is one of my biggest takeaways from this month's trading and reviewing my data. It's very important to just stick to the plan, to not worry about the P&L. It's cliche, super cliche, but we must focus on the process as opposed to being outcome oriented. If we focus on the outcome, if I were to have focused on the fact that I didn't make very much money comparatively the first week, as I typically do, that would very likely affect my performance moving forward. And you can see it took me a little bit to get going. The second week of the month was pretty darn good, but nothing even comparable to the last week or even, the week of the 17th. So one of the biggest takeaways that I had from my trading this month was to stay focused on the process. And it's very cliche, but as we know, if you have gotten deep enough into the game of trading, you know how impactful it can be to focus on your prior performance. Most people will draw connections between their last trading day and their next trading day and say, oh, because I lost $1,000 on Friday, I have to make Monday a really good day. And there's, basically a correlation that we create when there really is absolutely zero correlation. One trade has zero correlation to the next. One trading day is absolutely not correlated with our next trading day. And that is one of the biggest takeaways. I have been talking about a book a lot in our private community called Best Loser Wins. It was written by a gentleman called Tom Hugard. And this is probably the best trading book that I have read since Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. It is a very recent book, and it's got a ton of immensely valuable content. One of the biggest takeaways that I had from that book directly relates to my trading this month. In the book, Tom talks about a time where he was invited to, I believe it was the PGA Tour, by one of his friends, and he was in the VIP area hanging out with some other professional golfers. And he got to talking to one of the pros, I can't remember who it was, but he asked them if he thought that they were a better golfer than Tiger Woods. And this professional golfer responded something along the lines of, well, if I were to measure the distance that I can drive the ball and my ability to putt the ball, I would say that I'm a better golfer than Tiger. However, what Tiger is better at than anybody else who walks the face of the earth is the ability to wipe his mental slate clean and forget about what happened on the prior hole. He said that if I do poorly on the 16th hole, and I'm speaking from the perspective of this golfer that Tom was talking to, he said basically if he did poorly on the 16th hole and he was golfing with Tiger, right, he would directly think about the performance on the 16th hole. If he did poorly, it would affect his performance on the 17th hole negatively. Tiger, on the other hand, could do terribly on the 16th hole, and by the time he tees off at the 17th, he doesn't even remember that he played a hole prior. Now that is obviously a condensed example of the book, and I would highly suggest everybody who watches this video to go listen to that book. The audiobook is excellent. It's available on Apple Books and Audible, and the narrator is awesome as well. And that was just really something that I've been working on for a very long time is detaching, and not necessarily becoming a robot. We know that we have to use our emotions to our advantage and as an edge by interpreting them properly. But it's very important to understand that we cannot allow any past performance to affect our next game or, next trading session negatively. That is one thing that truly separates the greatest high performance athletes, or really anybody that operates at a high level in a high level profession. It is the mental game. It is not God-given ability. It is not genetics that, present their talent or give them talent, right? For example, Tiger Woods probably wasn't given, genetic ability to be an amazing golfer. He learned over time that his failures actually strengthen his game. And instead of beating himself up because of his performance on the last hole or the last match, he used that to his advantage and basically was able to wipe his slate clean, learn from, in the case of moving from hole to hole, quickly learn what he did incorrectly on the 16th hole. And then by the time he got to the 17th hole, he learned from it. He wasn't worried about his performance on the prior hole, and he was on to the next one. And that is exactly what we have to do as traders. It is so important for us to forget about the last trade, to forget about the last trading day or trading week or month, and trade our plan. Stick to the process, check our technical boxes, and make sure that we are doing every single thing that we can to make sure that we are indeed absorbing the knowledge from our failures and taking that into our next trade to make it high probability. So I know that this is a little bit of a rant, and I'm sure you guys are expecting a little bit of a different conversation, when I'm talking about such a great month. But this is really where the work gets done. It's awesome to pat yourself on the back and go celebrate for having a great week or a great month or whatever. But it's important that you don't, get euphoric. It's important that you don't take your foot off the gas when you're playing well or trading well. This is something that I have learned the hard way, to say the very least. And over time, I have developed a system to quickly learn from my mistakes, to journal them, and then move on and use that information to my advantage in the next day, in the next trade, etc. So, we could go in and we could talk about my performance and how well I did this month, and, I can talk about my P&L from every single day. But I think that these kind of topics or these kind of discussions are immensely more valuable than you guys just looking at how much money I made. You guys don't really gain a lot of knowledge or, tangible things that you can take and use in your trading if I just go through and I'm like, hey, I made 4K on Monday. Hey, I made, 12K on Friday. I made 2K on Wednesday. I mean, you guys get the point. I'm trading consistently and profitably, but that's not the point of this video. And I'm not really interested in just making a video just to, flex my gains, if you will. I want to give you guys some good, tangible takeaways that you can use to your advantage. And this takeaway, or the topic of this video, if you will, is really about learning from your triumphs and your failures. And of course, this month, I really only had one losing day, but the big takeaway was you cannot be attached to your prior trading day. Whether it's a winner or a loser, it can be bad both ways if you continue to think about your past performance. For example, let's say on Wednesday, the 26th, I was thinking about how well I did and how much money I made on the 25th, right? Over 11K. If I was attached to that, if I was setting expectations for myself that, you have to make $11,000 again, you got to keep the streak up, man, that's going to dramatically affect my performance because it's going to take away my process-oriented approach and shift it to an outcome-oriented approach. We do not want to be outcome-oriented. We don't want to focus on the P&L. It's cliche, it's cheesy, whatever you want to call it, but if you focus on the profits, you will not have any. I promise you. I'm speaking from experience. If you try to make money in the market without focusing on your edge, without checking your technical boxes, if you just enter trades nonchalantly and with, cavalier entries that have low probability, you're going to be donating to the market instead of taking money out of it. So that is something that I try to practice every single day. I essentially meditate on the fact that I need to stay process oriented no matter how much money I make or lose every single day. We cannot be attached to our prior performance. So I'm going to keep this video short and sweet. If you guys were expecting, an in-depth look at every single trade that I took this month, this video would be way too long because you can see I took 153 trades in total. But I really just wanted to, drive home the fact that I was able to do this because I stayed process focused. 80% win rate over 153 trades, 123 winners, 30 losers, 19 winning days, 1 losing day. Consistency is key. The P&L takes care of itself if you continue to trade your edge. You can see, once again, started off slow with a month and kept my foot on the gas, kept trading my edge, stayed process focused, detached myself from any money that I was making or losing in any given trade or day, and ended up with a beautiful month, right? So I hope that this video is valuable for you guys. I really am not interested in, just like creating content to flex my gains. Like I said, I think that provides no value. And I think that what we are discussing in this video is immensely more important for those on the trading journey. I know that it is not an easy one, and it's very important to see what can happen if you do stay process focused. I am not thinking about how much money I can make any given day. When I do that, I lose money. I am human. Just putting that out there, right? So it's very, very important to keep that in mind. And it's very important to do anything that you can with every fiber of your being to focus on the process, to make sure that you are checking your technical boxes on every single trade. And these are the results that you will have, or that you can see. I'm not even talking P&L wise. I'm talking consistency, right? 19 winners, 1 losing day. 1 losing day out of the entire month, right? Doesn't matter if you're making $50 to $100 a day. Consistency is key, and you will eventually bump up your size and increase, the P&L inevitably. But the idea is to stay process focused, to not think about your past performance, to not think about your past trades. And this is exactly what will happen if you continue to do that and you continue to focus on that as opposed to, I need to make money. So I think I'm going to stop my rambling here. Once again, I hope that you guys find value in this content. Please leave a comment down below if you guys do find value in this content, because once again, first time I have really done a video like this, and I hope it's helpful. If you guys do find value in these videos, please feel free to like, subscribe, and click that bell notification as well to get notified every single time that we post videos. If you would like to learn more about what we do with the Trading Network, check out thetradingnetwork.io, where you can purchase access to our TTN Pro Trader Bundle, which includes access to our Fundamentals of Futures Trading course, the TTN Proprietary Indicator Package, as well as lifetime Discord access. You can also purchase access to one-on-one mentorship with me on the website and learn more about our values as a community and really what our goals are every single day, trading in the market, trading together, and helping traders get consistently profitable with high probability systems. Thank you guys very much, as always, for taking the time to watch this content, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.